It may be surprising that many cybersecurity breaches do not result from a technical failure. In fact, it is commonplace for attackers to exploit the goodwill and trust of people to gain access to systems using a form of attack that is known as social engineering. Pretending to be a technical support person or crafting an email that asks for a username or a password are very common form of social engineering attacks, which is on the increase in recent months. You may have heard of the term phishing used to describe these kind of emails. Now, phishing is a form of social engineering. I may be tempted to exploit more of this topic at a later lecture. Phishing is any attempt by attackers to steal valuable information by pretending to be a trustworthy party. It's a form of social engineering attack. So an attacker might impersonate a bank to obtain credit card numbers or a bank account details. It gets its name from phishing, as in phishing for information, the process of luring people to disclose confidential information. Phishing relies on people's trust official-looking messages or conversations with apparently authoritative individuals as being very genuine. So be careful. It is very widespread and can be enormously costing to people who find their bank accounts emptied or credit card references destroyed or losing personal or sensitive information. Phishing emails may be indiscriminate. A phisher, hacker, criminal, or an online attacker, or whatever you want to describe them, will create an email asking the user to get in touch with the bank or a credit card company, claiming that there is a problem with the account or that the bank may have lost some money. These sort of messages make people justifiably worried and more likely to follow the instructions. The phisher will then include some plausible looking details such as a bank logo or an address and then send it to millions of individuals. Among all recipients, a few people will have accounts with the same bank and will click on the link in the message or a telephone number, which will begin a process of eliciting further personal information. If you do receive an email that worries you from an organization such as the bank or a shop that you frequently use, please do not click or follow the link in the message. Get in touch with their customer services department or log into your account through their own website. Type in their web address or use the address in your list of favorite sites, or even use their published phone number. Most organizations will have a published policy of not asking for sensitive information such as your password through email or over the phone. So please, if you suspect anything, do not click any link or follow any instructions at all. Most internet emails are moved around the world using the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, short for SMTP, which defines a standard template of commands and formatting that allows different mail programs on a huge range of computers to understand one another. Protocols are used to specify a set of special messages that should be exchanged between computers to achieve a particular functionality. In this case, the delivery of your email. SMTP was defined when the internet was only a tiny number of users, so the original specification did not include any way of computers to authenticate one another. For example, there was no way of knowing if the message claiming to be from your trusted bank actually came from your trusted bank computers or servers. This weakness was addressed in a later extension to SMTP called SMTP-Auth, AUTH, but critically it was not required, and so almost all the email servers still accept unauthenticated messages, unfortunately. Now, spammers can attack a mail system by claiming the information stored in email envelopes, which include the message itself. This is known as spoofing, and we're going to be talking about that shortly. Now, spoofing allows spammers to disguise their actual address by writing new addresses for the sender, such as replacing their own address with that of your trusted bank, and the designation of recipient. Since SMTP servers do not perform any authentication, they simply pass on the email without checking that it is being sent by your trusted bank. Basic or simple spoofing is now being challenged by technologies that allow genuine senders to authenticate messages, which can be checked by the recipient's mail server. However, only about half of all mailboxes have any protection against spoofing. Provided a spammer has access to a fast network, or increasingly to be botnets, spam costs the sender almost nothing, and although only a tiny fraction of users will respond to spam messages, sufficiently vast numbers of emails are sent that the reward for outweighs the cost. Provided a spammer has access to a vast network, or increasingly to a botnet, spam costs the sender absolutely nothing, literally nothing, and although only a tiny fraction of users will respond to spam messages, sufficiently vast numbers of emails are sent that reward far outweigh the cost. It has been estimated that 7 trillion spam messages, making up more than 85% of all emails, were sent during 2011 alone.